Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the TheRantCastPodcast. It's officially 9 o'clock p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time on Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Once again, welcome, everybody. Good evening. My name is Josh. I'm also known as the StrangeBus. You can find me at twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus. I am joined by my co-host here, Kurgan, also known as HeroQuest Fans, and you can find him at twitch.tv/HeroQuest Fans. That is twitch.tv/HeroQuest Fans. Also has an awesome YouTube channel you can check him out at, and that is XSC3, home of HeroQuest Fans. Kurgan, you're live.
Cast.
There we go. Always a little
How's it
edgy,
going?
but we got it. I'm great. How are you? How are you doing, my friend? On this new schedule we got going on Tuesdays, we're blessed, not stressed. That's my new tagline, by the way. I like.
Not dressed with rants.
Man, I swear you yell, man, and the NVIDIA broadcast just takes you away.
Yeah.
Gotta do that whispering yell with rants, yeah.
Rantcast.
That's
yeah.
right. We caught all of it. Anyway, hope everybody out there is doing well. Hope you're taking good care of yourselves and each other. But yeah, how are you? How are you, Kurgan? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to mail out stuff. I promised certain people certain things for Gen Con that I was going to mail them out. So I finally did that. I'm like, man, people who have businesses where they just like send merch, like it's a real pain in the rear. Of course, I
Right
guess
on.
if you're getting a lot back, you're like, hey, of course it's worth it. So I don't know. Someday I'd like to have just a merch shop that you could just be like, yeah, I want to order, a Rantcast T-shirt, and just be like, boom. And then we say thank you for your support, and then no one else ever buys another one, but at least you have the pride of knowing that you helped somebody out.
Indeed, indeed. Well, before we get too far into it, I'm just going to break down our episode tonight. We're going to have the HeroQuest Power Hour at first. We're going to kind of continue with a little bit more Outlaws talk, some Star Wars stuff, get into some more pop culture. I've got a couple of topics that I would like to discuss before we end the night. And then we've got some extra time. If anybody wants to join in on the discussion, you're more than free. You can hop into our Discord. I've got a Discord channel open for that. So does Kurgan. You're more than welcome to hop into both. We can get it set up. And you can join in on the Rantcast.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
we'll go ahead and open up the floor for the Power Hour. I'm going to step out for just a little bit. Go ahead,
Can I
Kurgan.
just
You can take us away whenever you're ready.
can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Twitch does not believe that I'm using a legitimate browser. It sometimes does this, so I can't actually post in the chat. So I can talk though. So as long
Oh,
as
okay.
we're okay with it. I know it's weird.
Do you need access to the chat? Can you see chat?
I can see it. I just can't participate.
Okay, no, that's fine. I've got access to chat as well, so um,
All right.
that's completely fine. Just you respond in chat. We'll just go ahead and go with that. But
Sounds good,
that's
man.
fine.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
go ahead and we'll toss off to a little backdrop of what happened last time at Gen Con. You can go ahead and
Great.
take us away. I'll let you know when I return.
For great justice. Rantcast. All right. It's good to be here on the Rantcast. Yeah, there we all are. Oh man. That was definitely a Gen Con for the record books. It was so great to meet Doug Hopkins for the first time and interview him. And he came across as a really passionate and yet humble guy as far as all that goes. And Rob Champ and Angus McBain and Ribby, great guys to hang out with. So it was super fun. And I'm glad that I actually scheduled events to do, but I'm also glad that I didn't just book myself so solid that I didn't have time to just randomly go to things and just set stuff up and play. Yeah, so we had a great time playing Space Crusade, and I was thinking I really just need to finish my painting. And I wish I could show you, but it's all just kind of in pieces, kind of everywhere. But I painted 8 orcs because basically I was trying to take the components that you'd have in Space Crusade, but using like more modern 40K figures. So I have all these like space orcs from Assault on Black Reach, which is 2008, Warhammer 40,000, which were donated to me by my brother-in-law. But anyway, I had painted 8 of those orcs, and I liked the way they turned out. So I gave them like gray pants with like this, quasi urban camo um, pattern, and like brown like belts and stuff like that, and then like gunmetal for the armor that they had on, and of course green skin. I think the green skin was really the only thing that was painted on them, and they have silver guns with like chrome on them and like chromed weapons. But anyway, so I was going through and I thought, well, I should just paint the rest of them. So that's Gen Con really got me motivated to finish some projects that I had been languishing for months and months and months. And now I'm just working on painting some more of those. And I watched a video from, I think it was Goobertown Hobbies, about how to restore your brushes using isopropyl alcohol, which I know some people say you shouldn't do, but he thought you should, and I'm gonna try it. I have a couple brushes that I don't use anymore because they're just so beat up. But anyway, I'm getting back into the painting thing, at least for now. So while I'm motivated, I want to get more done there. So I painted a bunch of Gretchens, which we didn't use. When we played the game, we just had uh, the Space Orcs, and we had Chaos Space Marines, which actually were pre-painted in the box from my Space Crusade box. And I didn't have painted dreadnoughts; they were just solid gray. So one of these days, I'm going to paint one of those dreadnoughts. And actually, I want to say something about my search for a dreadnought. So I found this series of models called CAV, so CAV, strike operations, and they were connected with Reaper bones, Reaper miniatures. And so I thought, oh, these would be great. They're plastic, right? And they look like these, walkers with, weapons, heavy weapons, and they have kind of like a face, very similar to BattleTech, but they're cheap. And so I went to Talon Games because there was this figure called the Mastodon, and it was really bulky and like tough looking, and it had bolt-on weapons. And I was like, oh, perfect. So I went to order it, and I already ranted about this a little bit, but here's the new wrinkle. So I complained to the guy because it was like the return policy is very draconian. It's like you got to return it within this time window, and you don't get your shipping back, and they decide if you deserve a refund or not. So I wrote this strongly worded email. I mean, wasn't trying to be a jerk about it, but I was just like, this is really terrible, terrible experience, because the website made it look like it was plastic. It was in the category with all the plastic figures, but actually it was 3D printed resin, and I hate buying resin anymore. I was burned before with that stuff. I don't want to do it anymore. Buy a 3D printed resin because it's just too brittle for tabletop use. So I complained about that. I also complained about the fact that you couldn't assemble it because the hole was hexagon shaped and the peg was round. And the guy replied to my email. He responded pretty quickly, actually, and it was like totally different because I thought he would just blow me off and be like, whatever. So I was just gonna basically just give him my parting thoughts, like, I can't recommend your service. This is very disappointing. And he was just like, you know what? Here's your refund. Here you go. You can have it back. And I was like, wow, okay, well, that's great. Thank you. And he just said, well, you can just sand the peg until it's small enough to fit inside the hex hole. So they do that because the stuff expands when they do the resin. I don't know. There's some technical reason why they do it. So it's not that they're just incompetent. And it's just like, because I was like, who designed this? Why would you, put a square peg in a round hole, or vice versa? It doesn't make any sense. Also, my experience with Talon Games. So he made it right. He made it right. This was, I guess, the website owner. I don't know if it's the company owner or just the website guy or whoever, but whoever he was, he had the authority to give me a full refund. Just keep the figure. Sorry about that. It was like, okay, great. I responded back. I tried to be nice and be like, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I also mentioned the fact that I had also gone on eBay actually, and somebody was selling Cav Strike Operations figures. Of course, I ordered these all at the same time because I wasn't sure which one was going to get there in time for Gen Con, and I wasn't sure which one was going to be like close enough to what I wanted, because I wanted something like the classic Dreadnought from 1990. Bigger than the Space Marines, like taking up 4 squares. But I got the Mantis and the forgetting what the other one was called. Stinger, Striker. But anyway, I took them out of the package and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. So the third party seller who is selling me the Cav Strike operations gave me what I wanted, because these were like plastic figures, the bendy plastic that Reaper's known for. You could assemble them, and actually one of them you could assemble and just set it on the table. Like, you didn't need glue or anything, and it was perfectly like set up. Now, if you picked it up to move it, it would start to come apart on you. But it was like, oh, this is great. So I told him, hey, I see your products are actually good. The problem is I was confused because this dual cast figure, which was 3D printed, was nestled in the same category as all these plastic figures. I naturally mistook it for a plastic figure. It doesn't say it in the description. So I told him, hey, you should probably update that, because people are be confused like I was. I mean, a lot of people don't have a problem with 3D printed stuff. In fact, sometimes they prefer it. I mean, Reaper is starting to sell like 3D printed stuff. Of course, they clearly market. It's like they got the metal stuff, they got the plastic, they got the stiffer plastic. It's black, and the bone's black, and then they've got the 3D printed. And I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't care if it is cheaper. I mean, I like when people like Ribby print stuff for me, because I don't have to pay for it. It's just donation. It's a gift. And if I had my own printer, sure, I'd print stuff. But if it broke, I just printed something else. But I mean, if you're buying it, you're paying a premium price for something, and it's like, I just can't trust it. So anyway, so my opinion of Talon Games was in the toilet, and now it's like significantly elevated, because it just seems like it was a one-off thing. So I think as long as he clearly marks the stuff, because there's stuff on Talon Games website that's clearly 3D printed, like very clearly. It says it's resin, it's in its own category. That's easy. But this Mastodon was like with the plastic minis, and in the picture it didn't look like it was 3D printed. But anyway, I'm glad he made it right. And this brought up another conversation. So I had a heated argument with somebody on Avalon Hill, and I really shouldn't put myself out there like that, but we were discussing the situation that happens sometimes with Hasbro with HeroQuest figures, where most recently some people have commented like their dice is cracked. So like the Prophecy of Telor, the orange dice, the see-through dice, have developed cracks in the center. I'm like, oh no. See, now mine are still in the package. I haven't never used them in a game, but I'm like, now I'm afraid to, because I'm like, well, maybe that plastic they used is brittle. On the other hand, my Frozen Horror dice are fine. Like, I've used those a lot and they're not broken. So maybe it's just a one-off thing. But the whole question was, if you buy a HeroQuest product that's like not from a retail partner, so if you don't buy it from directly from Hasbro Pulse or Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or Zavvi or one of those retail partners, is it true that you will not get a refund if your product is defective? And so my whole argument was, you should get a refund regardless. Like, we're not talking about, you bought it used at a thrift store, or, an open box on eBay that was as is. But my thing is, in my experience, I mean, I'm not saying I've done everything, but I bought a lot of products online before. And I bought HeroQuest from different retailers. I don't think I've ever bought any of the new stuff, the Avalon Hill stuff, from a third-party reseller. But even so, Amazon has like a policy, like a return policy, refund policy. So even if it's a third-party reseller and it's a new product, so like the seller hasn't taken the shrink wrap off and opened the box and checked everything to see it's absolutely perfect and then noted any defects. If they send you a product and it's defective, like, my opinion is the customer service thing to do is to say, oh, I'm sorry that you were dissatisfied. You can send it back to me and get a refund. Like, that's the natural thing to do. And it's like, it sucks because now they've lost their sale, but they've preserved the experience, the relationship between you and them. Their reputation is fine. You leave a positive review, hey, he sent me a product, it was defective, but he gave me a refund. Thank you. A plus, 5 stars, whatever. Like that's how I'm used to dealing. Because sometimes I'll order something from somebody on eBay or on Amazon, and it's just junk, and it wasn't what I ordered. There's and it's like I'll say, hey, sorry, this is what I got. Show them the picture. This wasn't what I ordered. Wasn't what it was described as. I'd either like a replacement or a refund. And 9 times out of 10, it's been perfect. I think there was one person who like gave me a hard time. He actually gave me a negative review on eBay because I took like 3 weeks to send it back to him just because I was lazy about it. It's like, okay, don't do that again. But it's like he was trying to say, oh, you were just using the product and then you sent it back to me. So I kind of felt bad about that. I thought, well, I guess it does give off that impression because he doesn't know who I am. So, but every other time I felt like if you're ordering from a big company like that, like eBay or Amazon, yeah, there's people that are out to scam. That's true. And there are people that are dishonest. But I think if you're sent a product and you're expecting it to be, intact. So if it broke during shipping or if it broke right away after you took it out of the package, under normal use, I mean, it's not an infinite warranty, obviously. If you've been using it for years and then it finally breaks, or you abuse it and it breaks, okay, that's different. But I would say like dice aren't supposed to just crack from being rolled on a table. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I was encouraging people, like if you got a HeroQuest set and it's got cracked dice or the board rips, it's not something obvious like, you were negligent. I think you should be able to get a refund, or at least you should get the feedback back to Hasbro, because ultimately they're the ones who have the oversight. And I feel like Hasbro, with Hasbro HeroQuest, Avalon Hill's HeroQuest, all this time has had a pretty good track record. I mean, yes, they have sold broken sets, beat up sets with missing pieces, poor quality control, you know, absolutely shoddy quality. They've done all those things. But the good thing is when someone complains about it, they've always, from what I've seen, made up for it. So like one guy got a skeleton that didn't have a head and they sent him like 5 to replace it. Like, oh, that's great, at no cost. Stuff like that. So I feel like it's one thing to just say, oh, well, I should have known better. Let the buyer beware. I try to see it the other way, to say, well, it's the seller's responsibility. And it doesn't have to be this vindictive thing like, oh, you cheated me, so I'm gonna leave a nasty review to ruin your reputation. But ultimately, I mean, as a customer, you want a quality product that you paid for. And as the seller, you want to make a profit, even if it's a really small one from a sale. So I think usually you can work things out. And if you really had somebody who was just absolutely refusing to help you out, you can go over their head. So eBay has a policy where you can appeal or open a case. Now it's true they can open a case against you too if they think that you're being unreasonable. But ultimately somebody arbitrates that dispute and gets it resolved. And I've done that a few times. Like I've had people where like they send me the wrong product and then they just disappear. Like their account goes away, their email doesn't work, and it's just like, okay, what do I do now? And they just say, okay, well, it looks like the person just abandoned their whole account, so here's your refund. So you can do that. Amazon's the same way. Those sellers have certain obligations and responsibilities. If they don't fulfill them, you can appeal to Amazon. And yes, at the same time, they have rights too. They can appeal and say, oh, you're being unreasonable, whatever. Because yeah, unfortunately, there are people, both sellers and buyers, who are less than ethical. So you have to be careful and you have to protect yourself. But I think there's safeguards in. So I think it's easier and better now. It's easier to resolve those things now than it was, maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago. It used to be just, you buy something and you just took a risk and that's it. You get whatever you get, you just have to take it. So anyway, yeah. It would be nice, in my opinion, if they could be like Reaper and they could have factories like in, domestic factories in the US or whatever country they're out of, rather than getting all their stuff from China. Because yeah, that keeps the cost down, but the quality kind of sucks, as we know. But that's the thing. But I mean, the quality is fairly decent. So the next thing I want to talk about, since StrangeBus is still gone, is First Light. So we are learning some things about First Light, and I'm sure it'll be confirmed as time goes on. But we know that the dragon is actually used quite often in the quest book. We know that the dragon actually increases in power. The dragon is more powerful than Joe Manganiello's dragon from Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. But I'm just thinking you could easily recreate his quest now using the materials you've got from First Light. Of course, First Light isn't out yet, but I mean, when it comes out. And so there's that. There's some new game mechanics. We knew about the arena fight that happens somewhere in that quest book. So that's kind of cool. That kind of prepares the way for against the Ogre Horde. We've also heard about some other things that we don't fully understand, but hopefully we'll learn more about. Blessings and curses. Apparently there's blessings and curses in this game, which totally blows my mind and makes me wonder, because I'm thinking back to that great conversation we had with Chris Nato at Gen Con last year. The spiritual journey, talking about what is the role of religion, spirituality, the divine in HeroQuest. And at the time, the impression was very much, whether it's a company policy or just Avalon Hill's policy, or maybe a combination of the two, reading the room, is that they didn't want to they didn't want to pin it down too much about what that was. So they didn't have a cleric character. They didn't talk about deities, that sort of thing. And in fact, there were mentions of deities in Spirit Queen's Torment in the original version, the mythic version, and they deleted that paragraph, that short little paragraph. Like the elf gives a blessing, in the name of the gods or whatever. It's very generic, but like that was removed in the retail version. And I get it. It's like when you're making a fantasy game, you want to be careful. You don't want to, I don't know. I mean, it's always a risk if you portray a real life belief system, because maybe people who actually believe that might take it the wrong way and go, well, I don't really know. I don't really like the way this is portrayed or, commercialized or whatever. So you make up a completely fantastical version. But another thing that was clear about Avalon Hill under Chris Nato's directorship, was that they wanted to deliberately leave gaps in the lore, in the world, so that you, the players, would fill in those gaps with your own story ideas, your own imagination. So if you wanted to say that HeroQuest was set in the Forgotten Realms of D&D, you could easily do that. If you wanted to say it was set in the Warhammer world, you could easily do that. Not officially because they haven't, licensed the IP, but you could do that. If you want to say, there's all kinds of religions in it, real life ones, you could do that. If you want to say there's none whatsoever, if you want to say it's aliens, I mean, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens, So there's that kind of like, keep it vague, keep it ambiguous so that the players can insert their own headcanon into it. And I can respect that a lot. I mean, I think a lot of us want to know, well, what do the developers really think? What do they want it to be? And Chris got into that a little bit, but I mean, there was a lot he didn't share. And it's like, okay. So it's like he has an idea. It's kind of like actors when they're doing a movie. Like they may have in their head this idea of like what was the little biography of the character, but you don't see that in the movie. It's just like this is the motivation that I'm using as I'm acting this character. This is what I imagine they went through. So by the same token, you can imagine Doug and Tess and all these people have ideas, and they've got like a writer's Bible, and they've got all these notes. But a lot of that stuff we never see. It's like they might use it, they might not. I'm really curious about that. I want to know what they think. But at the same time, I get that the published game is going to be like more vague, more wide open than that, more of a sandbox. And I definitely got the impression, talking to Doug and talking to some of the other Avalon Hill people this year, that they're still all about that. They're still all about leaving it open for us to figure it out. So if there is religion and deities in HeroQuest, it's up to us to fill that in or not fill it in our own adventures. But the blessings and curses, I was like, if this is going to be something in First Light, this is going to be something foundational for people. This is like allowing a little bit more of that back in to the story. Maybe they're feeling a little more comfortable, or maybe realizing that maybe more players want that. So I'm intrigued by the idea, and it'll be interesting to see, how it plays out. Is it a mechanic like a nerf or a buff, or is it like a storyline, like it influences the storyline somehow? What does it mean? So I don't know. There's many mysteries, but First Light, I mean, it strikes you as something that maybe is like less than the game system, but actually, I think all this time they were advertising, these websites were advertising it as, um, hey Ribby, yeah, I was on a roll. This whole idea of simplified gameplay, I think, is nonsense. Like everything I've seen, everything I've heard thus far, everything I've experienced thus far about HeroQuest First Light is that it is on the level of the HeroQuest stuff that we've seen before. And in fact, it might even be a little bit more advanced, actually. And it's still meant to be a starter set. It's still meant to be, a beginning quest for somebody who buys it. But I think it really is something that we as hardcore fans are going to enjoy. I mean, it's got the Stephen Baker seal of approval, you know, and it has some interesting mechanics. I mean, we only officially got to see the first quest, but even there, it was a significant experience. It wasn't the maze where you dodge a few orcs and you get to the center and you get the treasure and you go. It was substantial and has a storyline that weaves itself in, and it leads on to other things. There's familiar characters that get mentioned, so Sir Ragnar is in there. It's like, oh, so we finally get maybe some more foundation, because this is happening right after he's rescued, right? Before all the spoilerific stuff of him being a traitor, which seems to come out of nowhere. So we're wondering, it's like, well, why did he do it? Are they going to answer that? Or are they just going to give us more fodder for our own imagination to come up with our own reasons why? Like, because I could see it as he's just a regular guy. They turn him into the Manchurian candidate. He's double agent. He gets activated and he becomes evil. It's unfortunate, but or you could say it as maybe he was not that great of a guy actually, and maybe he was able to be tempted to the dark side, so to speak. Or maybe he was always an agent and the whole thing was just a ruse to keep us going. It's like there's so many ways you could imagine it. Or if you're like me, you didn't grow up with him being a traitor at all, and so it just seemed jarring and weird. And it's like, okay, I know it's in the European version, but I don't really like it. So maybe it wasn't really Sir Ragnar. Maybe it was an imposter. Maybe it was a different guy.
Hello, as a
Hey,
friend.
he's back. He's
Oh my
back.
god. Hi. I
Yeah.
we had a small meltdown with our children, so
All right.
I had to go
Everybody
play
okay?
referee. Yeah, everybody's fine. No, it's just end
All
of
right.
night, so I had to go play referee, and I have food.
All right. You had to lay the smack down.
I did.
Did your kids say you're like, so what do you think your punishment should be? And they're like, well, and you're like, it doesn't matter what you think. Like, oh man, it's a rock. Yeah,
I like Ribby's
come back.
comment. Nothing a good clothesline won't take care of. As much as I'd like to, I can't. Well, not really like to, but As much as that would probably solve the issue, I don't think I could do that to a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a pretty
Well,
tough cookie, so.
yeah, can't get Child Protective Services involved.
But I have
I
returned,
forgot.
sorry. So,
What
what,
the dad is cooking. Dun.
so here's what I'll be intermittently snacking on throughout the podcast because my wife got me dinner, so got me a
Ah,
nice loaded burger because I like to eat really unhealthy.
there you go.
Yeah, not sponsored, by the way.
Yep. Sponsored by Big Burgers. Just kidding. Not really.
Good, good burger. Home of the good burger.
Need a good shake. Okay. Yeah, I was just talking about the mysteries of HeroQuest First Light. Little hints, little leaks, shall we say? Little teasers of what's to come. I mean, we
Okay.
have this picture. This is something called the Adventure Design Kit. I think you have the photo. You can put it. I almost said put it up on Still Store. That's Mr.
Hold on,
If anybody.
let me get it ready here.
All
You
right.
said the kit. Is that for the dungeon pictures you sent?
Yeah, it's the grid. It's the grid.
Okay,
So there, because
got it.
in First Light there's a reverse side of that board. It's called the caverns, and I have it on good authority that this is very similar to an idea that was
Oh,
discarded from the Dwarf Quest pack. This idea that, yeah, so as you can zoom in on that. Notice the layout is different. See that? The rooms. So
yeah.
this was designed. So they gave these out at the convention. They didn't have enough of them. I'm doing my best to like. So I have a pad, and the very first sheet on the top of the pad got some pizza grease on it. So that's my fault. So I thought, well, you know what? I'll just rip sheets off and I'll just send them to people. Along with their HeroQuest fans T-shirt. Their little dice. I mean, I'm not gonna have any dice left over for myself. Oh well, that's okay. It's all for the fans, man. But
So
yeah, you're supposed to like look at the pictures and like sketch it
what you're
yourself.
saying though is that you like pretty much made out with these while you're eating pizza?
Yeah, it was overcome with emotion. No, but so what it is like on the front side, it's the familiar board. Flip it over, and then you have this cavern layout. So this way you can have like, oh, you go down the tunnel and it leads into this area, and it could be whatever you want. So you can have like two boards in one quest. It's kind of cool. Or you could have alternate, quest 1 you're in the regular dungeon, quest 2 you're in this cavern. But I mean, these could be treasure rooms, these could be traps. Over on the right-hand side, you'll notice the three boxes that are joined together. So you've got the big rectangle and then one on top, one on bottom. So go back one. Go back. Not this one. That one. Yeah, stop there. Okay. So on the right-hand side, you'll notice that is the arena. So in Against the Ogre Horde, there's the regular quest, right? Where you're fighting the ogres and fighting the sorcerers. But there's also the first three quests take place in an arena. So it's a big, huge room, like you see on the right. And you've got these two adjoining rooms where, the first army starts in one, the second army starts in the other. And the bad guys always get to go first. But it's, as Cristobal and LaGuardia de Morcar called it, HeroQuest Kill Team Edition. So army number 1 gets to activate a character. Army number 2 activates a character. And it alternates like that until you've activated everybody. So you're fighting in a totally different way. And inside the arena, you could have tiles that represent like treasure or bonus like buffs. It's like a temporary buff to your attack or to your defense or healing. Now, when we were looking at HeroQuest First Light at Gen Con, we didn't see any special like arena type tiles, but a lot of people pointed this out. Like, that looks like the arena. And so we're expecting there's going to be an arena fight at some point in First Light. Or people who are aware of those rules could just like have their own tournaments, using your cardboard standee monsters, fight the dragon. Uh, Ribby says, "Got to put on Rantcast t-shirt." Yeah. See, the problem is I only printed 2 Rantcast shirts, and StrangeBus, you're getting one of them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. And when we're on site next time, one of these times, we each got to wear them.
Yep.
So
Hey. Speaking of which, hey, check this out.
yeah. Son of a.
Saved you a seat, my friend. Or
Oh
that
yeah.
one. Technically, that one works better. Yeah, I got a new chair. So,
Oh nice. It's a game chair.
these are actually office chairs that I got. Like, so they're better for your back.
But they're not the super cheap Chinese chairs, right?
I mean, they're not super expensive. I don't have $800 to bust down on like a.
Yeah. But I heard there's some out there that are so cheap that they actually the little pressure cylinder in it can actually explode.
Okay, mine doesn't have that. It's just better for your back.
Okay. So as long as it doesn't explode on you, it's a good chair.
I have a Herman Miller. Yeah, dude. Okay,
And don't
so
get me wrong,
your
China
body
has
is
some
your
good
temple,
chairs, but there's some bad ones too.
but like my temple isn't worth $1,200 for a chair.
Oh man.
My chair is just to support my ass, and that's about it.
The
Now,
chair is to support his ass.
when I get to be like in the next 20 years, I'll probably look into something like more like that.
He kept his father's watch in his ass for
Okay,
3 years, and he sat on the
Ribby, you're
chair
not
and knew it
selling me
was.
on those. That's even more of a reason for me not to get one.
The $1,600, that's crazy. Why would you spend that much money on a
Yeah.
chair? You're just gonna sit on it.
Do they get a
You might as
rebate?
well sit on a pile of money.
I'm going to assume that they get a rebate or something for that. That I can't imagine they drop just $1,600 straight up.
Well, I mean, if they're that good, it's like, okay, we want our employees to have the best. None of this. Oh man, my back. Oh my
Yeah.
non-ergonomical chair. I'm suing.
Well, like offices, especially big companies, will excuse me, I've been
Oh,
eating,
yep,
but especially like big companies will get like big rebates or like they'll like get a
yep,
bulk discount, like what he's
yep.
saying. But
Yeah, good point.
yeah,
Well,
it's probably still like 800 a chair or something.
so, but anyway, yeah, that's great. I look forward to the time when we can have a show
I mean,
in
yeah,
person.
this chair that I have is like from an office in West Des Moines that I was at, and that I've been to that like was given to me, and this was
Nice.
like $900, and you can definitely tell because it has been used and abused, and it will never die.
Never. It survived this long.
This
That's
chair
great.
was $60, and the hydraulics are broken
Oh man. So
after
when I
like
sit in it,
4 years.
it's gonna be like a Chris Pratt fall, like to the
Like they
floor.
don't work anymore. Like I think the lever's busted now.
Oh, so
It's just
you just
down.
can't adjust. You just can't adjust it.
Yeah,
It's not gonna explode. I'm just
I love
worried
my
about exploding chairs.
work one so much. I use my work supplier to get one at home. It was about $1,000. Oh, but yeah, that'll
Wow.
be like you'll live in that chair.
Best
Like
chair I've ever had.
that's usually why they cost so much. Is like that's one of those things where like you are pretty much living in that chair.
Yeah, it's
So
true. Might as well be a good one.
they should put those fucking things in like semi trucks
There
because
you
like
go.
I swear me being on the road as much as I do, a Chevy Traverse is not the thing I'm gonna sit in all day. Just fucking
Yeah.
take that seat out and put something like that in there. Because I've seen those chairs. They look really nice.
Huh.
But yeah.
Put some stabilizers on it or something. And yeah, just put your desk chair inside your car. The other thing is if you were in an accident, what would happen?
You got a seatbelt.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just keep the roller and stuff, like keep the wheels and just bolt it to the to the car.
You're just like wheeling around inside.
Because
You
every
stop at
turn
McDonald's and they'd be like,
every
wheel over to the window.
every sharp turn I'd make, I go like over the side.
Whoa!
Yeah.
People will just be like looking out the side of their window, like, what is happening? What's that
Yeah,
guy doing?
but yeah, this chair is
Whoa!
definitely worth it. It's not like a really expensive chair, but it's nice. It's nice enough to like, to where I'll fit. That one I bought, which was not super expensive, but it was like your base office chair, and I bought it. It's got memory foam, so
Hey, there you go.
it's comfort for your ass.
I've got a I've got a memory foam like backrest.
That's what I replaced this with.
Yeah.
It's supposed to
Just
be
throw that up.
heated and stuff. I just don't plug it in.
Oh man.
See, that's what I do. I add stuff on. So
There you go. Yep.
I like the old school captain's chairs and conversion. Oh, dude. Okay, so I was telling my wife we gotta get like one of those like newer like was it Buick Enclaves, and like those got like probably the only things that remind me of those. They got captain seats, and like the the middle ones actually like are standalone, and they're beautiful.
Yeah. It's almost like having a lazy boy.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like truly riding around in like the Enterprise almost.
Yeah. Make it so.
Yeah,
Number one. Engage.
like TVs and shit in those cars.
I've committed an act of utter barbarity.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I like how we got on the topic of chairs and shit, but
Chairs. Yep. Rantcast 45. Cheers.
that should be
You
the
sit
episode. That
down.
should be our episode
Sit
name. Chairs
down.
works
Yep.
every time.
Works every time. Cold 45. Be sure to send Leia all of
The
my
rant,
love.
the rant of old men. Yep.
You look absolutely angry. You truly belong with us on the Rantcast.
That's gonna
Yo,
be
smoothie.
that's gonna be my AI Billy D. Williams. You look absolutely pissed off.
You truly belong with us on the stream.
Yep.
Everyone's invited, of course.
Oh.
How about you, Chewbacca? You still hanging around with this loser?
I'm sorry. They got to me before you did.
Got my own problems. They're after somebody called Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Oh, fix this up real good, my friend. How's it going, buddy?
I have altered the rant cast. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This stream's getting worse all the time.
Speaking of which, yes, before we continue, I did mention, yes, we are starting Tuesdays for the rant cast. That'll be Tuesdays going forward.
So weird.
And it'll be more so that I can continue the streams probably weekly. So hopefully we'll be able to stay more on a consistent schedule.
Yeah.
That way we're not having to switch weeks or switch days, or
It was
modify
getting
our schedule.
kind of a struggle for you. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was also like the thing where we're
work.
like, hey, we have to like take every other week, and that was fine. Then I was like, oh, I can't be here. I'm at the casino, and that still may have to be the case. But Tuesdays, if I'm home, or if I'm home late, I can still be here.
So Joe Pesci breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
Because of me. Because of me.
Just let you know, Kurgan's the consistent one. I'm the guy with like the job that I'm working 16 hours, and that's why my streams have been inconsistent. My life has been inconsistent.
Making that dollar.
No, I did. Like, I worked so much overtime the last couple of weeks. My paycheck was ridiculous, but it was crazy. I'm not gonna say how much it was, but it was ridiculous. It was like way over what it was supposed to be, and my boss approved it because I was like, I worked from 8 in the morning some days. From 8 in the morning, I traveled, so I clocked in 2 hours early. So it was like, because I have to get paid for travel when I work. So I started travel at like, I don't know, 6 in the morning, and then went all the way into Nebraska where the site was, and I worked and I stayed till like 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So I
So
clocked out like a half hour for lunch, but that was it. And
that
like that was like
endurance that you've honed after all these years of like these 8-hour streams and other nonsense, like you're able to put that towards your work and
well, it
make
also
some
helps
bank.
when you're lifting heavy shit and your body's just go go go. Like when you're moving around all the time, yeah.
Yeah,
Like rather than sitting in a chair, I can definitely tell you that like sitting in a chair, you have to have caffeine. You have to be doing something. You have to be moving your
yeah.
mind. Some people can do it,
Oh
but
yeah.
like, I mean, like
Oh
I
yeah.
could do it if I'm stimulated. But like if I'm like
Yeah.
moving, like constantly walking, which is what I'm doing in the shop, I'm always moving. And I don't know if I could tell on stream, but like besides my stomach, because of my diet, my stomach's really bad. But like my muscles have like buffed out a little bit. I've like kind of chiseled just a tad the last couple
Yeah.
weeks, just because I
Well,
have not stopped.
yeah.
Like shoulders have kind of broadened out. Um, my forearms and stuff have kind of gotten a little bit more like toned, and I feel better. I do like I feel better. Besides the lack of sleep, yeah.
You have
But
been pumped up.
I wish my hair grew back if I like worked out, but that doesn't happen. I still take this off, and I age about I don't know 10 years.
Well, yeah. So membership has its privileges. I mean, I try to keep myself engaged in my work. I, have a book or some miniature painting that I work on. You know,
Yeah,
if I can't talk to people, depending on the situation. But yeah, yeah, get to. I mean, you can still have the dad bod, but you know, it could be. You can get
it
some
makes you
gains in there.
beefy. I could say it makes you beefy. So if you don't have a good diet, you'll still tone out. But I don't miss 16-hour work days. It's not. It doesn't feel great. I'm not gonna tell you that it's a good
Yeah,
lifestyle.
J3.
But when you're done, like because the reason we did this was a lot of people dropped the ball, so I had to be there. So this isn't technically routine for me at all. This wasn't routine for my work because my boss doesn't like doing overtime.
Oh yeah.
He
I
had to.
I've
So
I've I've been in jobs where you have to pick up the slack from somebody else.
well, and
It's good money, but it's just like, wow, this is exhausting.
this was a thing where they had 40 to 60 machines. They had to be in a site, and when casinos plan to open, they have to have sites up and running. This is like it's a construction deadline. If you don't have the site up and running, people get in trouble. And this was not a me in trouble thing. This was like my boss and upper superiors in trouble thing. So, like, they were relying on me. This wasn't a pass the problem on to me thing. And then we had the only person that was helping me had a family emergency, like a legit, like possible death, and like so they called out, and it
Yeah.
was just me. So they called people who were 8 hours away, and they were like, "Come on down and help this new dude."
Yeah. I
So,
mean, you get those jobs where they say, be willing to travel, willing to relocate. It's like they weren't kidding.
so like I pretty much stayed the whole time because I was like, to me it was like, well, I'm just gonna get paid, and I'm only 2 hours away from home, so I'll travel home when I'm done. I'll get paid the premium overtime, and then you know, I have a crack in my windshield right now because I rocket my windshield, so that'll pay for that, and that'll pay for like all the extra stuff that I want. And yeah, you know, it helps, and it's little extra stuff for the kids too. So
There you go.
yep. That way I don't have to beg the breadwinner, which is my wife.
There you go.
But yeah, so back to HeroQuest, of course, because
Oh
I
yeah.
just can't. I just stole the show from you.
Well, hey, we get you get all kinds of content. You never know what you're gonna get on the Rantcast.
It's like a
Uh,
box of chocolates.
you never know what you're gonna get, my Jenny.
Oh,
No overtime. It sucked.
so you
Oh,
literally
Jake.
just went to bed. You worked double shift and went to bed. I did that
Dang.
a couple times when I worked casino work, like legit casino work. I pulled doubles, but I actually got paid for the double. So I mean, technically you're
Yeah.
getting paid for two jobs, but like, yeah, I mean,
Mm,
it still sucks. I mean, regardless of the money thing, man, that I would say that's no way to live. Like it sucks.
yeah.
It's it's not a fun life.
Nah.
So
I mean, if you have to, but it's just like, yeah, there's got to be a better way.
It's just not a consistent way to keep going. I
Yeah, you
would
could do it once or twice. I mean, I feel like such a lightweight. I mean, I've done some 10-hour days, and I'm like, oh man. But I guess if you're used to it, you budget the energy that you need. You take the rest when you can.
sometimes you just have to. Like, I mean, some people
Yeah, you just
don't
have to
like
suck it
they
up.
don't have it. And they just suck it up. Like, yeah, you just have to
Yeah,
suck it up and deal with it. And that's the thing is like this was
as long
kind
as
of
you
like
don't
one of those
screw
things,
up
right?
and they send you home. Yeah,
Yeah, and that was kind of like I said, casino work was especially when you worked in bank. It was like one of those things where if you didn't balance, unless you were getting fired, they kept you there to balance. You had to find out where you were missing money because they don't they don't care about your life or anything. You have to balance your drawer. You have to balance, especially main bank. I had stories where people were there till like fucking they worked night shift. And they usually had
no,
to balance at 5 in the morning, and they were there till like noon into the other
wow,
shift because they were
wow.
sitting there on like, yeah, doing checks and balances, trying to get the bank to balance. And if you couldn't balance, then that was the last day you worked there. So,
Yep, they don't mess around.
I mean, if it's a big enough amount, of course. I mean, if you're like a penny off or something, then they talk to you about it. But like, yeah, if you were off like $100, you had to find it. You had to find it. So
I figured they'd just take it out of your paycheck. But I mean, I don't know.
no, because like, I don't know. Maybe they to compensate they still would, but they still need people to balance. They need the bank to balance because it goes upstairs and it shows up on a sheet. But
It has
I
to make
yeah,
sense.
at least where I worked, they didn't care. You had to balance. You had to be a zero, or like I guess if you're like pennies off or whatever, like because tips and stuff in the main bank they get exchanged. So like if people are like off a penny or whatever, they can compensate for that if they don't find it in like an hour. But like if you're
Mm,
off a huge amount of money, then yeah, you gotta find it. Somebody messed up somewhere. Like they messed up on the Excel spreadsheet. They messed up like a piece of money got lost within the main bank. They overpaid somebody, and it would show because every piece of money going in and out is documented. So they have to retrace everything. And if you're off that amount of money and it's not easy to find, you're there. You are there for 2 hours after your shift.
yeah,
And the only thing that's going to is taxes.
yeah,
So,
yeah. You just got to make sure that you don't don't lose stuff. But I suppose it happens.
oh yeah, and definitely if you're doing double shifts,
Yeah,
happened to me once. So,
you're not a you're not 100%, so you're making little mistakes.
indeed. What time we got? Okay. So, because I hopped into you.
Yeah.
So,
So
this
what's your opinion on this HeroQuest First Light? Now that you've seen some things, you've heard some things. Do you think this is going to be a good thing for them, or is it something that you would ever buy, or what would you think?
so refresh my memory. What was our last expansion?
So the last expansion before this was Jungles of Delthrak, which
Okay.
just came out.
So this is just a like light expansion for beginners then? And then kind of like or not
Well,
expansion, but a light
it's a
version of the game for beginners
it's
then?
a not for beginners. It's a starter set. It's an alternate game system that's a budget price, but it has new content in it.
Okay, can I
So
ask why we decided to make another starter set for HeroQuest?
I'm well, they didn't specifically say, but I'm guessing that it's because they thought that it was intimidating to people to just, who have never played HeroQuest before, to get them to try it because they got to fork over 135 or 125. Yeah, game system light. Well,
Okay.
the thing is though, I mean, HeroQuest has gotten down to like 90, $75 on like Amazon. But I mean, I was just in my local game shop, and it was 135.
So leading into my
And it's
next
like,
question, real quick, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you
this
off,
is
but
well, this one's gonna be 50. So it's like, okay, I can spend $50 to see if this game absolutely sucks or I love it.
So no actual like player pieces. They've got like they're cardboard, right?
The heroes are plastic,
Okay, they're
and
plastic.
the boss monster, the dragon, is plastic. Everything else is cardboard,
So no
except for
actual
that side.
pieces.
Yeah, they're just
Okay, so
standy.
so that's what's okay. So they're standy pieces. So this would be something like, is this easy to learn compared to the original game system for like
Same rules.
younger audiences?
Nope, same rules.
Okay, so it's just a cheaper starter set.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're on a budget and you want to get started on HeroQuest, this would be the set for you.
Yep.
Okay, and then it's got a different adventure. Is it
Yep.
harder or easier than the regular game system? Because to me, they have
Well,
dragons in it, so I'm assuming that it might be harder.
yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Now, the original game system, the first quest was extremely hard, but the rest of the quests were okay. They were pretty easy if you worked together.
So does this have
Um,
like a scale, like a kind of like a?
I I'm sensing based on the things that I have been have been learning is that it's more consistent. So it maintains that difficulty throughout. I mean, there's obviously going to be ebbs and flows, but rather than having like super hard quests and then easy, 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 oh, and then it starts to get hard again at the end, it's like more consistent. So I think we can probably expect the difficulty to be comparable to some of the expansions.
Okay,
So even people are starting out, they're starting out at a higher level, I think.
and then so at this point, then for like just completely new players picking up the game, it's just going to be same difficulty throughout. So it's going to be harder than the previous game system.
I'd say so, yeah. Yeah. Because one way to look at it is this: the game system was actually too easy. So it was designed, the designer Stephen Baker, he wanted to introduce tabletop fantasy, light role playing games to a new audience, ages 9 and up. And when it came to America, it was like, this is too simple. And he even admitted, like, okay, when the 8-year-old boys decide that they're all going to work together, they can just conquer every time. They're going to
But
win.
then the rest of
Let's start.
it's like, let's say you get somebody who's into it and
Yeah.
they go get
So
the other stuff, isn't the other stuff going to be easier then?
well, no, no, no. The expansions all attempted to increase the difficulty to make the game more challenging. And eventually you got some that went too far. So like Mage of the Mirror, Frozen Horror, the difficulty is extreme. It's like too much. You're better off like editing the quests to make them easier to have a good time. But most of the other expansions do a pretty good job. They're kind of like right in the middle, right in the sweet spot. So I'm thinking First Light is going to bring the difficulty more in line with the others. So it's like once you played through First Light, you're going to know what to expect when you're getting into these other ones. So that might be I mean, assuming people make the purchase in the first place, okay, $50, what have I got to lose? Let's try it. You play it, okay, this is pretty awesome. Let's see what else is out there, and you get more of the same. And what I'm thinking is they're giving you a sampling of some of the advanced rules that you'll find in some of the other expansions, like the arena fight. That's from against the ogre horde. Like that wasn't in the original. That's something you find out later. So it's like, okay, you get introduced to that to say, oh, do you like this? Maybe you'd like against the ogre horde. You can get more of that. Stuff like that. The dragon is kind of a wild card though, because we all know about the mythic Crypt of Perpetual Darkness that was never released, and then there was this thought that, oh, it's proprietary, like Joe doesn't want it released anywhere else, and so it's never going to come out. But then I'm wondering, do they know that it is gonna? Did they make a deal and it is going to come out, or is this more like, well, this is a consolation prize? You can have some of the features that his set had, and just kind of make your own.
Okay, okay. So let's say I pick this up, first time buyer, know nothing about HeroQuest, but I'm peaked. My interest is peaked. I get started on one quest, I'm enjoying it. I'm like, you know what? This is cool. I've heard the other ones have pieces, and I should I go buy the regular game system to get my collection of pieces to get started, or just start with the expansions? Because that's where my next question goes. is I already have the game system here, and that has pretty much your basic set of pieces to kind of get you going with what you have here,
Mhm.
and then as you get the expansions, I believe those come with more.
Yep.
What do you? Okay, but like I said before, like let's say you don't have the people to help you with that. Like yes, you're gonna have to get involved with the community at some point in time, but like that's what I'm saying is like where would you go after the light? Would you go into
Probably
expansions, or would you just go and get the other game system?
you can do. They've set it up so that you could do either one. Now, if you're on a budget to begin with, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna just I can spend $50. I can't spend 150, so I'll buy 50, and then oh the expansions are 45 or 35. It's like I could get some of those. Those are pretty cheap. You
First
know,
light was a good travel version.
at a certain point you might decide, oh yeah, I really do want the game system is like a deluxe version. So it's like I'm going to upgrade myself. But you wouldn't have to. And if you already have the game system, you would buy First Light to get the new adventures, to get the dragon, to get the
Yeah.
alternate hero sculpts.
So to me that's already a given. Like if like for me if I bought that that'd just be like a kind of an expansion to what I already have.
Yeah.
The but like I guess vice versa. Like because for me, if I wanted like a dragon piece, I could make one, or there's probably people who could make that stuff.
Yeah, you just
But vice
buy
versa here, if you're a new
buy
player
that
and you
one
have the
figure.
light version, and you
Yeah.
want pieces, like I guess you just go with your You could just go expansions if you're on a budget. But if you're going with like let's say you're intrigued and now money is you know not a thing, you can just go and buy the game system then, and that'll
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
now I know I enjoyed $50 of this, I can buy $125 of this. Sure, why not? Yeah, it could work both ways. I think they're probably betting that they're gonna gather in a lot more people that have no idea what HeroQuest is with the $50 box. And that's gonna encourage them to buy more boxes. And even if they just buy one more box, it's still like they're coming out ahead. They're getting in good.
So,
And
but
Patrick said, "Hey, if this sells well, maybe this will be their in to put more of the stuff on store shelves, at places like Target or Walmart, instead of it
so
all being just online or at specialty hobby stores."
right. So Book of Nano says $50 for the alt hero sculpts and the dragon model, along with the alternate board, makes it an easy choice to pick up. But I have the mythic copy plus all the expansions. So I guess if you have that, you're just buying it for the quest at that point, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I guess my final question to you is this a recommended buy from what you've seen? Like if you're somebody who already has all the stuff, or you're someone like me who has partial stuff, would this be something to pick up, like something you'd recommend now, or wait until it comes out to kind of like flesh out like the
Well,
quality and stuff like that? Because you've already kind of seen the
yeah,
everything
I've
at Gen Con.
I've I've seen more than a lot of people have seen, so I'm not quoting the Rings of Power. um,
Don't hold back, Kurgan. Don't hold back.
I've seen things you wouldn't believe. Uh, I think that based on what I've seen, I will get it. But I'm also recognizing that I'm a super fan, so there might be just part of me that's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it anyway, like just to have it.
Okay.
But I see value in what I'm buying because I see, okay, the cardboard standees are kind of like you kind of look at them and then you put them away, like you don't need them. But the quests I would play, the miniatures that are in there, the four heroes and the dragon I would use. Um, yeah, I mean, yes, I could just, I could wait until after it comes out in like 2 to 4 months, and then the PDF of the quests would be available. I could just download that, print it, and like never buy it, and just enjoy the quests that way. But I don't know. I feel like I would support it. Um, I guess if I bought a box and I didn't like it, I could just gift it to someone, re-gift it. Love the
Right.
smell of brimstone in the morning. But yeah, I think right now I'm sold on it. I mean, I think $50, it's not that bad. It's got some good quality content in it. And yeah, part of me is just like I want to collect it. Part of me is like I want to support their effort, because I feel like they're doing the right thing to try to bring more people in. At first, I was skeptical of it. I mean, we had the whole debacle with the AI looking cover. That was like, it doesn't look good. That's sort of setting the tone for everything else. But I'm sure they set themselves back by changing the cover at the last minute to appease the fans. So it's like they're taking a risk on it, and they're really wanting it to be good.
I mean, you got to see
So
a quest firsthand, right? So
yeah, we get to play it. Yeah, Doug himself ran the campaign, and he might have tweaked a few things to jazz it up a little bit. Zargon has that prerogative, but it was definitely an adventure. It felt very much like HeroQuest. It didn't feel like a cheapo version or a dumbed down version. It felt like it belonged, in the pantheon of adventures that we've had so far.
okay, so from the quality of the quests to the build quality to cover art and everything, so this already looks like it's well worth the money. Be worth a
Mhm.
buy then.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and it's possible they'll tweak a few things for the end. I mean, we didn't get to see the back cover. The dice color was going to change. They said to what we don't know, but yeah, so far it looks great.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm kind of thinking, Star Wars Outlaws. You see the trailer and you're like, this doesn't look great. But then you start to see more and you're like, okay, well, it's coming along. It's looks like it's got some value.
I mean, they've already started to. I think they've released some gameplay, like parts, like actual like parts to the game. Things have been released to people early, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
So
I
so
mean,
yeah, so First Light, I like it so far, and I like the fact that I was talking about these caverns, this reverse side of the board, how I see that as that's something from the legacy of HeroQuest. I mean, the Dwarf Quest pack was never finished; it was never released. Most people have never seen it. I've seen a little bit of it, and I've seen enough to see that I think that was inspired by those draft notes. So I feel like they're reaching back into the lore, into the legacy, deep into the the drafts to bring these things out. So they're trying to make it fit with HeroQuest. They bring Stephen Baker back in to write some new quests. So it's like they're doing everything they can to tie it, connect it to old HeroQuest, to classic HeroQuest, to get us in. So I think that's an admirable. They wouldn't have to do that.
that's a great question, Jacer. And I'll actually ask Kurgan right now. Can you weave? Jacer asks, can you weave the GS and FL quests together for a 24 quest starter campaign?
I think you could. I mean, there's people who have marathons of the TV show 24 where they just like string them together like for an entire day. Like you get up, the episodes are just playing back to back. You go to the bathroom, it's still playing. You missed some of it. You come back, between the hours of this and this, and it's like you could do it. Because yeah, according to Doug, I mean it's happening at the same time. So you could choose to see that as one group of heroes is doing one thing over here, another group is doing another. I guess that would be the way to do it. You would have 10 people in a room, and just like a Gen Con, they would have, it's a long table, and there's one group playing one thing, and then right next to them is another group playing something else. But it's all taking place. But yes, you could jump back and forth. I think that'd be cool to do. It would take a long time. You're like, oh yeah, and then we did this. Oh, and we saved the guy, and then after that we came back, and then we did this other thing. We fought these other bad guys, and then we went back, and we did this other adventure, and then we came back forward. You know,
Right on. Yeah.
save your character sheet.
So yeah, that would be one hell of a like a quest. That'd be like one
I,
hell of like a
well,
drawn out.
I guess if you just combine them straight into a 24 campaign, so your heroes would level up very quickly because you'd have so much gold that you'd buy everything in the armory. You have nothing to buy for like the last half of the game. So your guys would be really powerful. It might be kind of easy. at the end. Well, depending on what secrets they put in there. Because there's always the question of scalable difficulty. That's something I've always wanted to see in HeroQuest. Like if the heroes have this, then they get this.
That's
But
right.
if they have this, if they're at a higher level, then they get this. And it's like, yes, that's what I want to see. I want to see it's like because otherwise it feels like you're cheating, like in those RPGs where it's like, well, if I just grind on this easy level, I'm gonna be super powerful when I go forward. Or is the computer going to detect that and go, oh, now you need to fight the high level monsters because we see that you're a higher level. So, yeah.
All right. Well, if we don't have anything else here, we've reached, well, technically we've reached our hour mark. Um, give us a quick break, just for, bathroom and whatnot, and then we'll be right back with our other topics. So, anything else you want to add, Kurgan, before we take our break?
I think so far HeroQuest is in good hands. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. I'm even excited to mail all the stuff to the fans that couldn't make it to Gen Con. But man,
I'm,
I'm gonna
I'm
have to
definitely look forward to that shirt.
take stock. Yeah,
Be
take stock. Actually,
sporting that shirt.
yeah, man. I'm not sure if it'd be easier to like hand deliver it to you, like pay you a visit, or just order it for you.
Next Tuesday,
Great.
if we get started just a tad bit early, like if you come over just a tad bit early, we
Oh
could
man.
we could probably do a live session. I'll ask my wife. We could probably do a live session now because like the office is big enough. You don't have to like worry about that stuff. I can reposition the camera. We can get stuff. We can get stuff set up. Because I know our last live session, I did two cameras. I actually checked it out. We actually had two cameras. We
Nice.
we had everything all set up. So like I think I had split in half because I had you facing one way and me facing the other. It was wacky, but I did like a ton of prep for that time because I was like we kept bumping into each other. It was like we can't do that no more. So
Yeah, it's like get off of me. Chair goes flying. Yeah.
yeah, so now I think we have enough space where we could do it.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about that. And
And I'll have a mixer. I'll be getting a mixer and stuff here soon, so like we could plug in more than one mic. So that'll be good. Um,
Bookham Dano made some comments there.
I had friends that went to Gen Con and came back with some of the yellow dice and the game design sheet for me. They also were able to buy a copy of Jungles along with a dice set for me there. Pretty stoked about that. Oh man, got some lucky people in the chat today.
Yeah. Yeah. I held off on getting the new Jungle Deltrac dice tin because the only way to get that was to buy Jungles, and I had just bought a copy myself. So I'm like, no. And the guy told me they'd be available in a month anyway as a standalone with the dice tray. So I thought, well, there's no sense in me. Like I could have bought like a stack of boxes just so I'd have a stack of tins that I could like mail to people. Just doesn't make a lot of sense. But they sold a lot of Jungle's copies. I mean, they had those things stacked up from like the floor to like my height. I'm over 6 foot, so um, they sold all of those in the course of the 4 days. And they had a few left on. Well, of course, I don't know how many they had in the back room. Like they had that kiosk, that monolith of Avalon Hill, but it seems like they sold a lot of copies, so people knew what they were getting, and they got the dice. But yeah, the yellow dice, I got 8 of them, and I've given away. I think I've like 2 left, so I'll probably just have one for myself, and one more I'll give away. But supposedly you can get those yellow dice at various Wizards of the Coast stores that are going to be demoing HeroQuest, and so they'll like show you the game and then play a quest with you, and then it's like you can walk home with some of the dice.
Oh
So I
dang!
don't know if I could get involved in that to
All
get
right,
some of the piss dice. I mean the Mountain Dew dice,
the,
whatever.
the piss dice.
That was our first reaction because they were kind of like kind of sour yellow color, and in the light it was just like what the piss dice. So whoever designed that is just like, man, just can't get a break.
Just can't catch a break. All right. Well, we'll be right back here in about 5-10 minutes. Don't go away. More Rantcast to come.
Just
That's
break
right.
time.
The broadcast like died on me for a minute.
Yeah, NVIDIA.
Video, it's where the bullshit is. So now my shit's gonna be even crappier. Like, I knew something happened with my audio because like I went to go come back from break and like my audio was like off. I was like, what the hell? And then it just came back on. So yeah, we'd have to kill the stream for that to come back. Just let you know, please go. I think they do that shit on purpose because they like video broadcasts seems too convenient for people to like not to use like actual tools, because I feel like it does a good job of taking your background out when you want it to get out, or clarifying your mic and helping you with audio. So they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just make it shitty. Let's make the program shitty. Stop working on it because we want you to go out and buy that stuff. There's stuff that we support that.
But see, if they make it too terrible, you're gonna be like, well, forget it then. Like, I don't want it.
I mean, no, because
You
really,
gotta want it just enough that you like. Okay, fine. I'll register my copy of Doom so that you'll quit nagging me.
indeed. Hold on. Welcome back to the Rantcast podcast. Our next topic that we're probably going to be talking about here is the continuation. We're about, 10 days? No, it's not the 15th yet. We're coming close to, 12, 13 days away from the Outlaws release. And I think
Don't be a fool, Marshall. Oh,
Yeah.
not those Outlaws.
No. In fact, I was actually just talking to a fellow streamer of mine, Yoshi Games Live, which is he's a really good streamer. If you haven't checked him out, go ahead and check him out. That's Yoshi Games Live. Yosh, not Yoshi. Yosh Games Live. And he was playing a game. I was telling him about the code for Star Wars Outlaws that I got. And he did the same thing that most people did. He goes, Outlaws? He goes, oh, did you get the multiplayer up and working for Outlaws?
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get some. No Gatling gun, no cream.
Yeah, and he was like, man, once you get that working, you let me know. I'll join you. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, I'm in the wrong. I'm wasting my time with Star Wars Outlaws because there ain't nobody interested in that right now.
Rolling by.
When people are more focused on LucasArts' Outlaws and not Star Wars Outlaws, there's a
maybe someone could make a LucasArts Outlaws mod for Star Wars Outlaws. Then you get people playing it.
That would be huge.
Got your 6-shooter and your spurs.
I keep telling people that like I'm looking forward to mod support for this game, like maybe create a character mods, something like that. But like, I don't know if there's ever going to be mod support for this. This game is huge, and I feel like the mod support is going to require some like heavy lifting. So
well, it'll start out with your usual stuff, like what color is your hair in the game?
Like brunette or something like that.
Fuck,
I don't know. I have to look at it.
Black.
It's like, she's like back there, so it's like black.
Yellow.
I was gonna just bring it up, but
yeah. So you get the different hair colors, and then people start to like figure out more stuff, and then you start to get,
I also got the. I also actually have
jacket,
the gameplay now, so there's an actual full-on gameplay demo that I found. So, oh god. Yeah, let me I can put on while we're talking.
Is that an LED light you have behind you there with your bar?
Yeah. It's a background light. You didn't notice that?
Well, I saw it, but I wasn't sure what I was seeing.
Yeah, brother. It's great.
That blue milk. It phosphoresces in our galaxy. So much for the blue milk run.
Yeah. Set aside on blue milk runs like this.
Yeah, pros like us.
So this right here that you're looking at is going to be the full. This is the full experience. So this is the no commentary 4K demo, and I think this is the one that I missed out. I don't think I showed this one off last time we were talking about. But this is the one that I found last time. But um, I'll kind of like skip forward to some parts. This does have the Hoth playthrough, or not the Hoth, but the Snowy Planet playthrough that we were looking at.
When she fell, I was like, gravity is a harsh mistress.
But the space gameplay was what I was looking at. Yeah, she like escapes from this. Yeah, she like escapes from this area here.
Okay,
and
that.
You do like a little fun mini game
order right there. Oh yeah.
But like I said, the authenticity is kind of there, right? And like that's kind of nice.
You could imagine this is something in Star Wars, yeah. It's an older code.
But it checks out. Was about to clear them. Yeah, so
I will deal with them myself.
But then you got the overhead. You can see the stormtroopers running by.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then
on that guy's throat.
So I mean, this kind of looks neat, and that's what I'm saying is like the environments look pretty cool. Things look pretty cool. I'm still trying to keep my expectations kind of low, but I don't like the cuts. Like the cutting, it kind of drives me nuts.
Oh, and to Jacer's point, yes, the Outlaws LucasArts soundtrack is amazing. Even if you never play the game,
yes,
it puts you right in the mood of the Wild West. Talk about that for hours.
Man, like I said, the only thing that like if you like Wild West games, the top 2 or the top 3 that I have, but like put in the top 2, like are Outlaws, and then you've got Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
Because like I said, those are 2 wildly different games. Just letting you guys know. Like one is like a Doom like, and the other is like open world Wild West. But like,
see, now,
they both put you in that environment.
It looks very derivative, but it also looks like fun.
Okay, so just letting you know, this here is what is like to me. This feels more Star Wars-esque.
And yeah, because we've seen this sort of scenario before. You know, you're in a...
And here she is. Here she is right here. She picked up an E11, right? She's got the E11. There was other weapons that you could pick up, but she got the E11, right?
Bay.
And she's giving off suppressing fires. No.
Yep, she's actually aiming.
But she's stealing cargo. There's cargo that's being sold. Because this is a side mission, right? So she gets in. Cutscene plays, because I'm guessing this is either a side mission or some form of other, like, real mission. I'm not playing any sound because I don't want to get, like, copyrighted. But, but just playing it here, like I said, it's gonna be a mildly linear experience. I know.
Sure.
You get wanted because the Imperials are, and there's some sort of like star system here. I'm pretty sure there's like something similar to GTA. But this is the world that you're looking at. This is like the universe in which you have a sandbox in. You get out here. There's a debris field.
You are leaving the battlefield. Return immediately. 5, 4, 3.
No, because you'll enter hyperspace to go to new areas. But
see, I like that. That looks cool. I like that debris field.
Combat's very simplistic.
The whole planet's been blown away.
And like I said, I think what people had the problem with mostly was the price of this game and how kind of simplistic the game looked, which it does still look. Right? No, well, yes, the base game is
a lot.
Which, like I said, what you usually got with like pre-order bonuses and stuff, they're now attaching to Ubisoft Plus, or they're trying to get people to pay $110 for. So what I'm going to get in my copy is what people would pay $110 for. Plus they're giving people access to the game 3 days early if they pay extra, which is the problem. That's the problem. I don't encourage anybody to buy this straight out of the gate. Wait till it comes out. Yeah. So that's the big issue. Is
people forget though, back in the day, like if you bought like an N64 game like the day it came out, it was going to cost you a lot. It'd be very expensive.
Yeah, but it wasn't $80. Like games just released. They just raised their prices not too long ago, I think.
Yeah. Well, usually you'd wait until the game came to like Toys R Us or whatever, and it was on sale, and then you'd buy it for like $60. But yeah, if you got the game direct from Nintendo or whatever, it'd be like $100 or like $90. It was ridiculous.
If you're hearing any background noise right now, that's my I think they're doing fireworks over nearby where I'm at because there's the fair. So
Yeah, see, Jacer, I remember the games being higher priced, but maybe I was like looking at prices in magazines, and I don't know if it was like it hadn't come out in the US yet, but you could get it direct from Japan,
so
like Nintendo Japan, and so it cost more.
Tears of the Kingdom's a good example. Yeah, I would say Jacer, yes. Wait till the bug fixes are done. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be getting this 3 days before its major release, but people are already playing it now. I think there are certain people who have access
player
to
game.
it. So
Single player. You don't have to worry about like.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that's not like it doesn't have issues, man. Jedi Survivor was broken, and that was a single player experience. So
yeah, you're right. There's different issues
but
to worry about.
Here's the thing. Here's the difference between this and what EA was trying to do is, I'm not saying it's okay. Ubisoft has this thing with recycling a lot of their assets, or animations, or core values, and they put them into each one of their games. Play Assassin's Creed. Play any Tom Clancy game recently, like Breakpoint or Wildlands, then go and play like The Division, and then which is what I've been doing, and then go ahead and try to play this. I bet you'll get the similar feel. This isn't going to be anything. I don't think this is going to be anything truly revolutionary. It's going to be good. It might be okay. Like it might be okay. It might be good. I don't think it's going to like blast people away. What I think Ubisoft is relying on is its Star Wars factor. And how big the world is. Like, Ubisoft has made huge maps recently. Like, Breakpoint's map is huge. Is there anything to do in it? No. So, my thing that I'm looking for is there anything to do in this game besides just the main missions and side quests? Like I said, what makes Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption great is the fact that the world is breathing. It's living and breathing. There's things in it. People have routes. They have lives. Like the NPCs, literally every NPC in that game in Red Dead has, like, they wake up in the morning. They have routes. Like, there's a dude who wakes up in the morning, gets drunk at a bar, goes and does his chores, and goes home. And if you kill him, that fucks with the rest of the game. So, like, it doesn't have to be that crazy, but like I said, like, the world is, like, living and breathing in that game. So, there are people that, like, do things, and, like, they have their own, like, set of skills. There's cantinas. There can be cantinas you can go to, grab a drink. Listen to the latest rumors and get work. If it's got an open world element.
Oh, this is that arcade you were telling us about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like there might be
Star Wars.
Like some side stuff, but that's what I'm saying is like they're claiming how open world this is, but if you can't even sit down and be interactive with the world, it's not open world to me. It's a hollow shell that you can walk around in. And that's what it's going to be to me. It's like the whole point is that you're a smuggler. You're not like so you can do your jobs at your own time. So and that's it. That's what this is to me. There's vehicles, equipment, map, journal, reputation, databank. And I'll kind of pause this here real quick because that's another thing I wanted to focus on here. If we go back.
So you're going to say this is mid?
Most Ubisoft games have been like 6 or 7 out of 10. Like Ubisoft recently has been great, and I think it's because they do a lot of like laundering or tax evasion or shit like that. So Disney was perfect at like, well, that's the whole reason Beyond Good and Evil never came out. Remember, we talked about this in one of our RantCasts. Like, they don't. They love releasing games. Tax break. So, like I said, it's one of those things where like I hate to make it sound like that, but for anybody who's worked on these, it's gonna be hard trying to convince people that they're making a work of art. One, it's a Star Wars title, and Star Wars has had their name has had its name dragged through the mud the last decade. And two, it's a Ubisoft title, And Ubisoft has been involved in multiple scandals and multiple things the last, I don't know, 6-7 years. So I mean,
Priced against
nobody has faith. And it's really funny because I think Disney was the one who said, EA, you can't do this anymore. And they're like, oh, good, we're moving this to a new studio. And they're like, it's Ubisoft. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, people were like you moved it from one bad studio to another. So,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't look awful. It just looks, yeah, it does look really mid. And that's what I'm saying is like, if we look at the menu here, you know, I'm looking at equipment, but like, I want to know how customizable the game is going to be, how truly open the game is going to be, and how like interactive the game is going to be. Well, that's already going to happen, but because like the cool part about an open world Star Wars game like this would be able to create your own character, and like I feel like even like Grand Theft Auto doesn't even do that, and like that makes me sad because you know in multiplayer Grand Theft Auto you can create your own character, but we're even coming out with GTA 6 and nobody's mentioned it yet. Why can't I create my own character?
Oh, I know what would be a great mod. Okay,
Like,
so that you got little Flappy Bunny that follows you around. Just scale him up and then have like a tiny human like running beside you as your pet.
that would be extremely broken. It works with Starfield for like that big robot. Like they scaled him down to like BD1.
Nice.
But like because he walks far enough away from you, but like putting something that huge and you see that its pathing is walking so close to you, that thing would like it'd be in your way all the time.
Yeah.
So
Pretty funny to see it though.
it would be. And it'd be like sliding a lot because of how fast it walks.
Mhm.
So yeah, what I would want is like ship mods, character mods.
Yeah, vehicles will look better. How about the Outrider?
Yeah, fly the Outrider. We're in the appropriate time for it.
Get Dash Rendar in there.
Give me some Dash Rendar.
Dash off some renders. Yeah.
Give me some Lebo action. And yeah, let's get into that. But you know, I will play the game vanilla first. And if it does get popular enough to get mods, let's get some real conversion mods in there. Not any of that sissy like 8K upscaling garbage or like, you know, we've replaced the sounds with movie accurate sounds. Like, no, come on, let's get in there, do some actual modeling and stuff, because you know there are modders out there that make me want to pay for half their crap. So let's get out there and do that. You know. But there's the more ship combat. And like you said, I think the worst part about this so far that I've looked at is just the ship.
We'll have to destroy them ship to ship.
Ship is very, very unoriginal, and it's just a block. Yeah. But you know, at the same time,
we made it out of Legos.
At the same time, if it's a cargo ship or something, whatever.
It's not pretty.
It just moves really fast for something that's supposed to be like a bulk freighter or something. And I'm also getting really fucking sick of the word punch it. I did not understand when that became an official Star Wars term. Han Solo said it, what, twice? Didn't Han Solo or Lando say that in the original trilogy? And now we've just adopted that term. And I don't know when that started becoming an official Star Wars term.
Yeah, it's like they learn it in flight school. You have to say it before you can go back.
Like for real though, I didn't know when they started like using it as an official term. Like I don't know if Disney adopted it and it's like, okay, you know, punch it, you know,
to have something familiar from what you had before.
Yeah, and here's the flying in-house. You know, same. It's the No Man's Sky mentality of, you know, transfer through the clouds. Planet renders before you.
I like that.
Yeah, and like I said, it looks beautiful. There are parts of it that look really beautiful, and now we're going into Tatooine, of course. But like,
fools you into thinking, that it's you can
like,
go anywhere, do anything.
Like I said,
oh man, George Lucas is watching this and he's weeping right now.
But that's what I'm saying.
They cut off before the ship landed. Dang it. Okay,
But that's what I'm saying though, is like if you look ahead of you,
scenes of ships landing.
if this whole area is yours to explore, then truly this isn't a bad game. They've already done.
Yeah, although it makes me think of Duke Nukem Forever. I mean, they promised so much, and then they delivered very little because it was too much. Of course, they had their own issues, reinventing the wheel every time there's a new engine out. So how long was this game in development? Do we know? Did it go through some delays and issues, or not?
It no, it hasn't gone through any delays or issues. Sorry, my mic died again. I think I'm having like software issues because of broadcast dying on me. No hardware, just software. Can you hear me okay? Oh, hold on. I think I lost you. Damn it, what the fuck? We're having technical difficulties today. Oh, you can hear me, Jason? That's great. Thanks, NVIDIA Broadcast. Well, Kurgan's coming up, but I can't hear him. Hold on. He's not muted either, so.
I'm not muted. I'm not ready.
Did you mute yourself? Yeah, there you go. Okay.
No. Can't hear you. Okay, he can't hear me. That's strange.
No, you can hear him. I can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay.
You just were not coming up for some weird reason. I don't know. Like literally, when broadcast like does that, I've even killed it and it's still doing that. But like when broadcast does that, Discord fucks up, the stream fucks up, and I have to reset everything. So like I lose myself for like a minute or two, and this is like some new shit. So I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, we had minor technical difficulties after the break that were just not. I don't know what happened because I didn't fuck with anything. Just broadcast crashed, and now it just doesn't like anything.
Yeah. Just knock his block off.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess that's more of a Star Wars-y way to take somebody down. Just sock him in the face.
But yeah, so like this combat system is very, very reminiscent of most Ubisoft games. Target your enemies.
Right.
You're gonna be able to take them out various ways. You know, but like to me, that's not bad. So, and it looks like you got reputation, so which is kind of nice.
You entered a restricted area. You're in violation of Imperial law.
And it kind of like translates stuff from like the whatever they call that. I keep forgetting what it's called.
Yeah, well, it's basic, but I mean.
Ooh, did you see that? I didn't notice that.
Orabesh is the.
Yeah, Orabesh. That's
font.
Right. Did you see that? She quick drawed. Check that out.
Quick draw McGraw.
Wham wham! Yeah. So like I said, the environments are nice. I like the environments. The combat's pretty fluid. It's just the same shit that you've seen before. Like I said, I'm not like giving it everything, but the weapon swatching between the different types of ammo you can have in the blaster, that's very Shadows of the Empire-esque. And
it's not the slow motion firing.
Yeah, if all of these aren't just like kick
that dog.
Vertical slices, and they're actual parts of the game, because it says like not final gameplay, whatever. Then
you got canceled because you kicked a dog, unfortunately. Oh, there's a speeder bike. What? It just came to. Oh, well, yeah.
So if this is actual gameplay, then we'll be okay. I don't think we'll have too many issues as far as bugs. We might have our typical like unstable branch, but
So you're definitely on Tatooine. This looks like Tatooine.
Are you able to hear me, Kurgan? Am I still good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on Discord. Let's see, on Twitch.
Nah, I'm good. I'm showing my volume level. You were just like on your own for a minute. Between that dog, man. You and that dog, you were just like.
Brr! Yep. Not too many people like you coming around these here parts.
Oh, here's another one. You can, it's like a little standoff thing, but you can mark. Ain't that Red Dead? That's pretty Red Dead of them.
Oh, they did do it. Yep. Sure. Wee-hoo.
But yeah, like I said, it looks okay. Like I said, so we just kind of make sure it's all stable and it's not glitchy as shit, and then we should be okay. We should be okay. I would like to know anybody who might be interested in this game what their full-on opinion is, because like I said, I'm not like I don't hate it like I did before. I'm just like,
It's the world of Star Wars that
yeah, my expectations are mildly low. They're just mildly low. So, but the 27th rolls around. I believe it's the 27th because I think the release date is the 30th. If I got that right, then it'll be released the 27th if it's 3 days early.
When do you get? Tell me again when you get to actually start playing it.
So according to what I have with the code, it's 3 days before the release.
Nice. All right.
But we'll see. I have it officially in my August 30th. August 30th is the release, so that'd be the 27th is when it'll be official.
I keep thinking of AT-88 from Dark Forces 2. Every time I see that guy, the battle droid.
But I'll be happy if there's like different costumes and mild customizations and stuff like that. But and even if it's kind of like Assassin's Creed-esque, it's Star Wars, so it'll look and feel good, but it just has to play well.
Well, a game that puts you in the world that you enjoy is very important. I'm thinking of the Harry Potter game.
I have it. It's the
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy game. Yeah. I'm just not a huge Harry Potter fan as much as I used to be when I was a kid, so
I'm not at all, but I mean, it still was just like, wow, this feels like you're in the world.
I would have asked for that back as like a teenager or something, and that would have been awesome, but like, yeah. Would have been great.
Uh-oh. I can't do anything about that particular bot.
No, it's no big deal. I got him.
Yeah, the best viewers are not here, buddy. They're somewhere else. They're in your ass. That's where he is.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Oh, Opera GX, get out of here.
Dang. Seemed
killing,
too short.
It's killing my vibe.
They were supposed to add a whole bunch of stuff to it, I thought. So maybe again, but again, maybe like this game too. It's like, you expect them to go beyond this, but no, that's all you get.
No, it's just the pretty much the hour and a half that they have. So, not a huge deal, but oh, you're talking about for Hogwarts Legacy? They are adding Quidditch, yeah.
Oh, so that's still gonna happen, yeah.
Sorry, I'm like half in the
multiplayer
conversation now because I'm having to re-put everything back up. There we go. But yeah.
TheRantCast.
I forgot that like with my Streamlabs stuff, I wasn't completely logged in. It logs me in, then it wants me to like log into chat as well, which is like the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
Nothing just ever works. You have to like double down.
It's so weird to think it's like Tuesday, so I don't have to like get up and get ready for my next stream. I've got
see now you can take a break. Take a nice little break.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Think about it.
But yeah,
think about what I've done.
You said Hogwarts Legacy was okay, seemed too short. I never beat it. See, to me, it seemed long because there was so much to do and explore. But then again, I didn't have a lot of extra time around that time.
Yeah.
So.
But Harry Potter fans, I mean, think about it. There were 7 books, and weren't they like really long too? So there was a lot of material to get through. So maybe that
Yeah,
was the deal.
I think I stopped
We're
at like
expecting.
the dragon part. I think the plot was turning right when it was getting good, and like I like just did not come back to it. So like if I come back to it now, it's gonna be really hard to fucking learn because I have all those spells and I learned the forbidden ones too. So like it's just gonna be rough to pick back up because it's one of those games where you had to learn the patterns to have like spells down. Oh no, you had to have like your hotkeys for the spells. Sorry, so you had like hotkeys for certain spells, and then you had to swap for those hotkeys if you want to put new spells in, and so
Yeah, kind of like the Jedi Knight series. You get your perfect setup. You know where
yeah. So
everything is.
just to kind of remember which like set of spells I want for each situation. So it was just kind of like it's one of those things you kind of have to consistently play.
Light side, dark side, and master for Jedi Academy and Outcast.
I also have a feeling this game is going to utilize the biggest job she's ever running into is getting Han Solo's carbonite block from Jabba, and then she ends up failing or dying somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I just feel like that's since it takes
She
place
gets
between those two, they're gonna have a lot of cameos. They're gonna have a cameo involved.
she gets turned into a frog and Jabba eats her.
No offense though, I don't want there to be a cameo. We don't need any more. We just have somebody in the Star Wars like just
Yeah, it's a big
you're
galaxy.
just
Why can't you have?
you just live. You're just living. And if you want to join the factions, join the factions. You might hear some adventures between them, whatever, but like you're not even on the same fucking planets as they were during this time. There's like one planet that's familiar, and that's Tatooine. Like after that, there's two planets I think that are in there because it's three total planets. There's two planets that are fucking no-name Disney planets, and it's stupid. It could have been like Tatooine, Renvar, or Kashyyyk or something, like or Hoth and Kashyyyk. Like you're in the original trilogy area. You don't need to add your weird Disney ass planets. I fucking hate that shit because they're all
Like
they're
they don't
pretty
have
much
the
the
right
same
to their own
biomes.
stuff.
Like fuck, man. The Star Wars saga pretty much hands you a gold mine, and you're still making shit up. But
Yeah.
we want to
Leave your
put
mark
Jakku
on
into
it.
our storyline. But what's Jakku? It's a desert planet. You mean like Tatooine?
Yeah. It's like you were afraid of licensing the thing that you own, so you made a knockoff of it. Like what?
Yeah,
You had to leave your mark on it. It's not
Jakku is
Hoth.
the
It's
great
Blah.
value. It's the great
It's
value
Blah.
of
Yeah.
great value of Tatooine, pretty much. You went to
Yep.
Walmart and you got Jakku instead of Tatooine. We have Tatooine
Yeah.
at home, son.
Yep.
Here comes the
Yeah.
rants. I feel the rants coming on.
Oh yes.
But yeah, so and then here's some gameplay showcasing your companion, which I think
Wow.
also kind of didn't need to happen either. The gameplay probably would have been tougher if you didn't have a companion. You know, you activate shit yourself, do shit yourself, take out enemies yourself.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't like glitch out and then you can't win because little Flappy Bunny couldn't do the job.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, it looks fine. I think the game would probably be better without the little random pet all time.
Yeah. But think of all the potential though. You could swap that out for some other character.
Yeah, think of all the investments and the deals and products they're gonna sell.
Money.
Money. What a money. This is those weird Disney cartels, isn't it? I can't remember what they're called. Not Shadow Collective, but something else.
I want the Black Sun.
Yeah, they died early. Maul killed them. So they
Yeah.
technically don't exist in this time period anymore.
See, how could he have killed them if he himself is already dead?
No, he killed them early before A New Hope,
Fortunately,
I
he
believe.
survived.
I think that's what became the Shadow Collective, but was Black Sun,
No.
if I remember right. I mean, I think they're still
Black
around, but
Rose.
they're not as powerful as they were in the original
Oh.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Weren't they making a game for the Underworld of Coruscant? Yes. This is going to bring up another rant. Thanks for bringing me or reminding me why I'm so pissed off at Disney again. That game is called 1313, and that was young Boba Fett being raised in the Underworld of Coruscant. You got to play Boba Fett. But yeah,
That would have been
that
cool.
that was a great game. That was one of the first next gen PS4, Xbox One titles that was going to be released.
And that was canned
And
because
it was super
Disney
canned.
decided to put a hold on everything.
They
Or shut
announced it
everything
in
down.
2011, 2012, and then as soon as end of 2012 hit, Disney bought out fucking Lucas everything, Star Wars, and then they said, you know what, this Darth Maul game that we want, we cancel that. Oh, this 1313 title, cancel that. Oh, you guys are making a new Rogue Squadron? No, we don't need that.
Cancel.
The fans would really want that? No. Battlefront 3? No.
That's really sad. See in the lights. No, you will die. Your franchise will die.
There is a link to a video that I can give you guys, or we could put in the YouTube VOD, that is a list of all Star Wars canceled games. And a lot of them are due to the 2012 Disney buyout, which like I said,
all would have been pretty decent if they.
Yeah, I think the Darth Maul game was open world. I think it was like an RPG, I believe. So,
Dang.
yeah.
See, they insisted on doing things their way. So it's like, oh, I've got this pizza almost made. You want it? No, we're just gonna throw that in the trash.
Just throw it in the garbage.
We're start completely over.
Oh no! But we'll take the toppings and shit, and we'll throw that on our pizza instead.
And then we'll just throw it in the microwave, and there you go.
Yep.
Like it.
Because I know they used assets and shit from some of their other stuff, but like, yeah, just shysters is what they are, man. Like I said, I know I defend a little bit and say like, hey, give them a chance, because like really at the end of the day, there really isn't anything else coming from Star Wars other than Disney, and like, and I'm at my age, I'm too young to just say fuck it anymore. Like I want to say fuck it, but I'm like, there's some things that I can still find enjoyable, like, you know, TV show wise or video game wise. So okay, so Dano, the Bothans thing, I said the same thing, right? I believe that was the second Death Star. Because if you mention, if it's in Return of the Jedi, Mon Mothma mentions many Bothans died to bring us this information, which it's something that it's mild, but I had to correct myself because I that was the first thing that I brought up in Rogue One, which I actually kind of enjoy Rogue One now. Besides the Vader thing at the end,
I haven't seen it. Yeah, that's like so over the top. It's a fan film.
Because at first I was like, dude, that's kind of cool, and then I was like, wait a second, this is shortly before like episode 4, so like Vader like just walks and doesn't do anything, and like,
well, he used up all his force mana, has to recharge after all that, so
yeah.
Like, I've just got enough power.
It was in episode 6.
One guy by hand.
Mon Mothma references it during the briefing for the second Death Star. So like it's during the first Death Star, they said they were referencing the Death Star plans during the briefing before the assault on the Death Star in episode 4 during New Hope. But like, it didn't include Bothans. Like, actually, if you really want to like go back into Legends territory, the person who got the Death Star plans during that time was Kyle Katarn. Well, he helped get the Death Star plans.
Too easy. Yep.
Yeah, so like that was, but the
Kyle Katarn was all kinds of cool.
He was all kinds of cool. Yep. Single-handedly saved the rebellion with his ass.
Yeah, this could be interesting. I'm in.
I'm
I want
in.
Jan as my flight officer.
Yep.
Jan! He'd be a content old man without her.
But I literally said that in the theater, though, so I did the same thing. I was like, what about the freaking Bothans, man? And then it, like, clicked to me, like, I don't know, like, 3 months later that the Bothans were second Death Star. Because they were referenced in many games that the Bothans used stealth technology to get the
Ah,
plans. And they were massacred shortly after by the Empire. Most of them. Hence the tagline.
yep. Go watch the original trilogy again and just forget all this other stuff. It never happened.
Never happened. That's what I like to think, but unfortunately,
Disney
doesn't
happen.
Disney
Kathleen
happen.
Kennedy's gonna stick around until there's a win.
Somehow, Disney returned.
Yeah. Somehow the fans did not return.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying is like, if you really want to go back to like
Lightspeed looks cool.
talking about shit like that, we go back to like actual times where, you know, I wouldn't say just when Star Wars was just great, but when it was just less complicated.
Yeah. Play the Star Wars RPG and just make up planets. Put them wherever you want.
Well, you just grabbed the original galaxy map.
Yep.
And then that's what you did. You grabbed the original galaxy map, and you picked what planet you started on. When I did Star Wars D&D, you started on a Coruscant Street. You guys didn't know why you were there, but you were wanted. Wham.
Yeah.
Figure your fucking way out of it. Is she going to clone herself? Who? Who is going to clone herself, Jacer?
Okay.
Are you talking about Kathleen Kennedy or what? Because I could see her doing that. As in, like, I'm getting too old and now I need a new body to inhabit. Because my immortal life juice is wearing white. Yeah, Kennedy, yeah.
Dang.
She's running out of the nectar to keep her alive.
George Lucas's handpicked successor.
What a fool.
Sad.
Well, you don't always see it coming. And with all the stress and stuff, he was just ripe for getting fucking screwed. But at the end of the day, man, he doesn't. I don't think he feels super bad about it anymore. It's not his problem anymore. That's the thing.
He's still got a pile of money to sleep on every night. Cry himself to sleep.
And you're still noted as like the creator of one of the best franchises in like the world.
Yeah. So, and if it sucks, people can always you'd be like, people are mad at him for selling it, but they say, well, it's not really your fault. This new stuff.
I bet you 100 years from the date of the original Star Wars release, Star Wars will still be, I think people remember. After you and I are long gone, it'll still be a thing that is referenced because it's now on in like a historical setting. It's preserved.
Some hokey movie from the 70s.
And that's why the EU is important. That's why maintaining the canon is important.
Yeah. Yep. Keeps it
alive.
Gotta
maintain history.
Yeah.
You don't maintain history, it changes.
Before the dark side.
And then the victors tell it differently. That's why you got all this acolyte fucking nonsense and shit. Then people are telling it different, and then
the first joke was female.
Nope. And then you got piss in your Cheerios, and you're wondering why your Cheerios taste like piss, and it's Cheerios after that, and then you just
Cheerios.
Yep. It's no longer Cheerios. It's no longer Fuddruckers. It ends up becoming something else, like an Idiocracy.
I've seen that movie. It's like it just gets worse and worse until
it's
just like,
see,
it's pretty much what you expected.
History is told by the stupid if it's not preserved, and that's why I say that we must preserve the canon. So
you get used to it, and you think, well, this is the slop that I'm used to. It's like, yeah, but you don't know what it used to be.
Well, you can still make new stuff.
Awesome.
I never said you can't make new stuff. What I'm saying is that you use it based off the old stuff that's given to you. So you don't eat the same old slop, but the recipe has to be there. You can't just make up new shit. Oh, I've got
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. This is how I make mashed potatoes, man. You just throw them. You don't peel them. You just throw them in. Add some maraschino cherries in there, and then you call it good. What do you mean cherries? Where'd the cherries come from? Oh, I just thought it'd taste good. What do you mean you thought it would taste good? The recipe's right in front of you. No, I don't want that recipe no more. Okay, like, see, that's what I'm saying. It's told by the stupid. If you let the stupid into your kitchen, you know, they make
I
up all
wanna
sorts of weird shit.
someday I'd like to visit that restaurant. There's one restaurant in the entire company or country that has like the actual like Colonel Sanders like chicken, like the way he wanted it, because KFC changed it long ago.
Oh, you mean like the traditional 11 herbs and spices and done in the pressure cooker?
Yeah,
Because that's the way
yeah,
he used to do it. He used to do it in the pressure cooker and shit.
I'd like to try that.
I mean, it's just really crispy chicken, bro. You can do it at home.
Sure.
Look, I'm not gonna like toot, like I said, not toot my own horn here, but like I said, the days where KFC used to be revolutionary are long gone.
Long gone.
So you
Yeah.
can grab the pretty much clone. You can clone it. It's probably not exactly the way, but you can get pretty close. And if
It,
you have a pressure cooker at home, which you can find one pretty
yeah.
cheap, just pressure
Oh
cook
yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It
because pressure cookers were not common back then, they were not. They
Fair
weren't
point.
household things that
Mhm.
you could just you just take home a pressure cooker. Now they're portable enough to where you can bring them home. So
Just do it yourself.
yeah, I think if I remember right, he in the kitchen, his pressure cooker was like huge and like yeah, so it was something that was also very expensive and stuff too. So revolutionary fried chicken, and it was done because I think back then you could do pan fried chicken, you did fried chicken in like the oven, or I don't know if they had fryers, traditional like kitchen fryers, but you get it from like a restaurant. It was done in a fryer, but um, usually I think traditional pan fried chicken's the way to go. Like I do really good pan fried chicken, but like that's just me. So,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
this would be more of just like a pilgrimage.
maybe he did something else that might have like changed the game. But like to me, it's just like one of those things where you could probably sample it, get it pretty close as you follow the recipe. And I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
those are fun when people, yeah, come up with their own. It's like, okay, this is my, seems like recipe for
Well,
whatever your favorite fast food was.
Amazon has like the recipe for McDonald's, like their apple pie, which is technically they're not supposed to, but like you can get it now, and they just call it clone apple pie and clone custard
Yeah,
pie.
they
I was
don't
like,
admit that it's
yeah, and
probably.
like you can just make it now. Like at this point, I was like, man, I'll just make my own custard pies. At that point, I used to love their holiday pies. They only release them during the season, so
Trade. Yeah.
just make like 12 of them, keep them in the freezer.
Yeah, man.
Those holiday pies are dope. I could eat like 5 of those things and then die of coronary. But like, they're really good.
Okay, so it's called Claudia Sanders Dinner House. It's in Shelbyville, Kentucky.
Oh, you're still going to Mr. KFC's place? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, still going there.
Colonel fucking Sanders. I
You're
got
right.
it. KFS.
Oh, it burned down. My
Oh,
goodness. Yeah.
never mind.
But they built it again. They
But
rebuilt it.
but you'll never get the original. It died with the fire.
Oh man. And who started that fire?
Now all you'll get is a carbon copy.
Yep.
It'll never be the same.
No. Well, yeah, I didn't grow up with the original KFC. It was the
Really?
80s KFC that I knew.
That's pretty damn close, man. Didn't KFC start in like the late 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
that's pretty
Before
damn
my
close,
time.
brother. Like,
But I mean, he was already complaining about like the way that they ruined it.
well, yeah, because they commercialized it. I mean, hell, McDonald's was already really commercialized around that time. So, that's, I
He
mean,
makes as late as 1970. Okay, I'm quoting from Wikipedia. As late as 1979, Sanders made surprise visits to KFC restaurants, and if the food disappointed him, he denounced it was the original. What's that guy that always does those kitchen shows where he like screams at
Oh,
the people?
you talking about Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah. So he was the original
You're
Gordon Ramsay.
comparing Colonel Sanders to a Michelin star chef?
But just the way he would just savage people's work. It's like, oh, we did this for you. It's like, crap. Yeah.
Well, he was
Colonel
probably
Sanders.
getting pretty. He was already relatively old around that time, so I'm pretty sure like
We're gonna throw the old man out.
you just
Yeah.
had a grumpy old man visit your store. Fucking slop, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Who probably got screwed by like corporate whatever.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, he's probably, yeah. Yeah, of course they're gonna like commercialize it. You just open up a chain of restaurants, like.
But he was still entitled to his temper tantrum.
I bet he was. Well, if you ever watched The Founder, I'm pretty sure those guys were entitled to their temper tantrum too when they got fucking bent over.
Yeah, I saw that movie. It kind of sucks you in. Although I read that actually they did get quite a bit of money. So I mean.
Yeah, but not as
could've
much
gotten
money
more
as they could have gotten.
as they could have gotten. Yeah, if it had been really fair. Yeah.
Like if all that shit was true, that guy knew what he was doing. Like he didn't.
Yep.
He saw revolution when he knew.
So
it. So
the story gets played out many times. Yeah, same kind of thing. You have a good idea. You have a good thing going.
Somebody swoops in and takes it from you.
You sell out, and then
no. In that case,
or you
get tricked into sharing a part of your idea with somebody until they buy it all from you, not knowing because you weren't paying attention, not knowing that what you had was a commercial success. And that's it, is the fact that because he was overseeing all of that operation, he pretty much just took it, like, and claimed it as his own.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Well, what is
and Ronald McDonald was treated like he never existed.
Oh yeah.
If I was Ronald, I'd be pissed.
Ronald's currently at the back of the barn.
Oh.
They got rid of him. Well.
Yeah. The Founder 2, Ronald's Revenge.
Anyway. Before we close, because I'm literally my entire computer's crumbling before my very eyes. Broadcast has just destroyed my stream. I'm like getting lag spikes with my camera now. It's gonna get worse.
We have a lot of editing to do, don't we?
No, just the few times that my mic kicked out. But besides that, we're okay. The lag spikes usually happen because the Razer webcam I don't have the drivers installed, and I refuse to install Razer on top of the Corsair stuff I have already. So that's just my personal belief. But the other stuff is what you'll have to edit. But besides that, is there anything else we have on the docket tonight before we end?
I don't think so. I mean, there's always things happening, but I think I've kind of run out of steam myself.
Okay, so this is the time where we would invite anybody else onto the Rantcast. You're more than welcome to come and join us if you want to discuss any of the current topics that have been discussed tonight. If you have anything Star Wars related, anything to talk to about Outlaws, any questions that you have to reach for, we can invite you onto the Discord. There's usually a 5-minute period before that starts. If not, it's no big deal. It's okay. It's just something that we like to do for when we're running kind of like a shorter stream. But we'll kind of go ahead and we'll take a small break. And then if nobody's willing to want to hop on, that's fine. We'll go ahead and end the stream. If they do, we'll give probably about a half hour to an hour for chat. And then that's where we'll end after that. So I'll go ahead and do a small break. Let us grab a drink, do whatever we need to do, and then we'll come back. We'll see if anybody wants to hop in. So once again, before I switch over to the break, if you do want to hop in, go ahead and give us a message in the chat. If you're in our Discord, go ahead and message either the Bustle Discord or somebody in the HeroQuest Discord. we'll go ahead and get you over to where you need to go, and we'll be right back in the next 5 minutes. So don't go away.
TheRantCast. BRB.
Okay. Let me check in here with Kurgan. Alright, Kurgan, you're on.
TheRantCast.
Alright.
Alright.
So no takers today, eh?
Scared him off.
I think we did.
Yep. Well, I was going to say it's a school night, but I mean, Thursday's a school night too, so no change there. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're kind of sandwiched in between, big events. Like we did the whole Gen Con thing, blew ourselves out on that, and now we're just kind of waiting for more things to happen. I mean, you're waiting for your big Outlaws stream.
Yeah, I am.
People are gonna show up and they're like, "Wait a minute, where's the Gatling gun? Where's the vanishing cream? I don't get it.
Oh god.
Where's the parcel? Where's the parcel?"
You want to know something?
What?
I think the 27th is a Tuesday, my friend.
Ah.
Which
Yeah.
means
Yes, indeed.
we're going to do a rant cast, and I'm going to have to do a stream. Or I'm going to have to do a stream and then a rant cast.
StrangeBus. Yeah. Well, who says we just have to, be talking heads on the Rantcast? We can play the game. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to talk about next week for sure.
Indeed. So, next week, episode 46. But until then, we were your hosts on this beautiful stream that we call the Rantcast.
Special shout out to NVIDIA for causing grief and pain and suffering.
Indeed.
First world problems.
So we'll kind of close off here. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on the Rantcast podcast. Once again, I'm Josh. I'm also known as the StrangeBus. You can find me at twitch.tv/StrangeBus. That's twitch.tv/StrangeBus. YouTube.com. Search StrangeBus. Kurgan's also the host here for the Rantcast when I'm not around, and the host in general. You can find him at twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. That's twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. Also on YouTube at XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great night and or a good morning. Man, I was hoping for more Rantcasts. I mean, we will have plenty more, hopefully next week. I think it's been a short Rantcast because we haven't had much of, we had to start from Thursday to Tuesday, so,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, once people realize what we're doing and we get that momentum back again, I think it'll be great.
Indeed.
The new beginning. Another new beginning.
But I will be doing, in about 15 minutes, I will be doing a stream of my own for a little bit. Be doing some Tavern Simulator. So, kind of do my own stream, coming back for a little bit. And then,
Some simulation on tap.
yeah, might be doing some small one-offs because I want to prep. Want to prep for this upcoming, big release. So.
All right. Well, I hope it goes well.
Jacer says, anything else from Gen Con you haven't mentioned yet? I don't know. You covered a lot last episode.
Yeah. Well, there might be a few things that I haven't said yet, but we're saving those for the right time.
So maybe next
But
episode.
I said as much as I could for now.
So, with that, stay tuned. We'll have some more Rantcasts here to come. If I get everything up running, there should be a stream popping up of mine shortly. If not, I'll see you guys during the Star Wars stream and during the next Rantcast. So, have a great night, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. And until next time. Kurgan. Here we go. Night, everybody.
Take care.